Live! Hello, everybody. S- So we've moved over to the Minecraft part of the charity stream, and shortly we will be doing a few Minecraft bingo matches and probably some Bed Wars as well. Uh, it's a specific tweak to Bed Wars that's made for this server, but the bingo will be simply just one line completed, with tasks ranging from things like damage a villager to more crazy ones like kill the Ender Dragon, or even an impossible task which you cannot even do. Um, of course, still being part of the Durham Charity livestream, we are sponsored by NSC and Intel, and the charity, of course, being excuse me, 1 second. Safe in Our World, which is to create and foster worldwide mental health awareness within the video game industry. Very important aspect that probably most of us can at least relate to some degree. At least either ourselves or people in our lives. But yeah, very excited for these games to start. My job is basically just to, fly around the map, see what people are getting up to and what tasks they might be doing at that time. I won't be playing myself. Um, but yeah, it should be a great fun time. Shouldn't be too long now until the games start, but what we are looking at the moment, well, until I got disconnected, what we are looking at the moment is the nice spawn made by the Minecraft rep herself, Alice in Muffinland. She spent a lot of good time on this and also a lot of work on these mini games as well, so give her a lot of support if you do think, uh, you know, if you do enjoy this and you want to join the server itself. But yeah, very cool. Bit more of a detailed view of the map. All of this that you see here was built by the Minecraft rep Alice in Wonderland in creative mode. And, some beautiful buildings, and of course this will only grow as time goes on. But yeah, we've got a fun little parkour course. Not too complicated, pretty simple, where you can win yourself a nice treat in the survival world, so yeah, nice and fun. Just before these games will start, there'll be a few server issues because of just how demanding it can be to get all of these mini games to work. So give it some time; it'll all work out eventually. But yeah, should be a good few fun games. Should be a good few fun games. Bingo is apparently causing some issues, so it may take a short while for everything to be up and running, but hopefully it'll all be sorted soon. By the looks of things, it seems as if we're going to have quite a few people playing these mini games, so it should be quite fun, quite intense at times, depending on what people do. Uh, it'll be interesting to see what lines people try to go for in bingo. And also if there are any Hypixel sweats from the Bed Wars later, so we'll have should be quite entertaining. Oh, I don't even think I introduced myself. So I'm Alistair, a student at the University of York and a good friend of the Minecraft rep. Which is why, there's not as many dynamic streaming commentator things as there was for the Smash tournament, and also clearly not as good mics either. But it's still gonna be, fun in its own regards. Nice and simple, kind of like how Minecraft is in general. Should add to the atmosphere a good bit. But yeah, I'm just a second year physics student, and we've got people coming in from all years doing different courses. Quite fun how games in general can reach like a wide bunch of people. I always think that that's quite a fun thing. You get to see a lot of different things, and obviously play a lot of fun games as well. We ignore the fact that I fell. Just while we are waiting for everything to be up and running, I'll just do the what I called relatively easy parkour earlier, and I will do it badly. Ah. Parkour Pro, definitely not. No, no, no. Parkour Pro, definitely not. No, no, no. Anyway, moving very swiftly on. Out of pure determination, I will continue to attempt this up until the bingo games are running and whatnot. But yeah, should be uh, quite a simple game. Just achieve a line of multiple tasks, but you're quite limited in space with the world being about 2,000 by 2,000 blocks, and one of the tasks also being to kill a specific person. Of course, if you're the person who's being killed, if you're the person that has to be killed, then it leads to quite fun like mini manhunts going on, but also just uh, a little fun task, if you're the person, because I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but if you're able to shoot yourself with an arrow to die, I think that counts as you killing yourself for the task, which would be quite funny. Um, but yeah, like I said before, we've got tasks ranging from quite simple things like acquire a black bed, uh, punch a villager, some random stuff like that, to more harder things like craft an enchantment table, or um, even impossible ones like kill the Ender Dragon. Just to make it so these games aren't just done in about 10 minutes, depending on what certain tasks are given. Should add to the intensity with people, either getting the luck they need to do their tasks and either. Not really. It is bingo first. It should be a few games of it, depending on how long they are, but the bed wars at a maximum can last an hour because of the timer, but I definitely do not think any game will last that long. Oh, sorry. Apparently, because of the issues with Bingo, Bed Wars is having to be done right now, so we'll just have to see. Oh, all games are already running. Oops. I'm pretty sure I am able to just TP myself to and see what's happening. Okay. Ah, there we are. Perfect. Oh, seems like we've got some teamwork going on in the center. These people running around trying to collect all the gold that spawns in the center islands. Iron to the ones on the side. All of these could be used to buy different uh, equipment and whatnot, or even power-ups, like in normal Hypixel Bed Wars. It should be quite fun. By the looks of things, the beds have already been destroyed. My bad for not realizing that the game had even started, but, you know, it seems like we've got a nice, standard, fun little Bed Wars game. Has this bed been destroyed? No! Okay, so the green team, I believe it's Durham D's Nuts, still has their bed, whereas the pink slash purple team, Durham Defenders, seem to have lost theirs. So already quite a bit behind. Uh, oh, which bingo challenge am I most looking forward to? Probably just the ones to kill a specific person, you know? It's just sort of I think it'll be quite funny to see if we get people, you know, led on a wild goose chase, distracted from their own tasks, allowing other people to catch up, or yeah, can just see. But yeah, by the looks of things, we've got a chase going on here. Oh, and a good kill from Tom. Now, these of course being uh from the green team during these nuts who still have their bed, so they're able to sort of run it however many times they like, whereas uh the pink purple team on this side here has already lost their bed, so already quite tough for the purple team. They've got to play quite tactically, got to stay hidden and see if they're able to get any pot shots on any of the other players. To be honest, I can't even find them. Oh, that did not work in the slightest. That just TP me back to the oh god. TP me back to the survival world. So it seems like people are just having their own fun while the game is going anyway. But yeah, we got 5 stars here. Just sort of roaming the center, I think trying to just ward other people off just by him being there. Or just sort of trying to collect his forts. They all seem to be grouped up down here, and seems like there's going to be a good... Oh! Pite in a very tricky spot there. In a position to knock people off, but gets knocked off themselves by 5 stars. Willing Wisp coming in, trying to see what they can do, but apparently it seems as if... Oh, never mind. Maybe something happened with the damage there, just temporarily. But yeah, as a quick reminder, this is of course a charity stream for Safe in Our World. Of course, if you're in the chat, you can just do !donate and find out more details. Oh, I see what's happening. So, it appears as if the players are accidentally going inside the spawn ring range, where it seems as if PvP is turned off. So they're not actually able to hit each other, which is quite funny, but could lead to any type of distraction that allows Durndy's Nuts' bed to be destroyed, but it still hasn't been at the moment. Of course, looking around, we can see that they have access to both iron spawners, so they're able to get their stuff. They can make, of course, the blocks of iron to use to protect their bases, but of course, the pink-purple team, Durham Defenders, able to buy their own pickaxes, so gonna be tough. Oh! Tom appearing to just give up. Letting Willy Wisp walk away. Zero problems. But yeah, purple team apparently leaving their copper. Not going to use it. Oh, rather bronze, I should say. Which is fair enough, you know. At this point in the game, it's been going on for a short while. They won't be able to use it anywhere near as much. With all the iron and gold that's been dropped during this game so far. Ooh, we had a quick tussle down here. 5 stars again coming out on top, and by the looks of things, has just won the game. So, congrats to 5 stars and his team. It appears as if we're getting ready to start another Bed Wars game. It'll be interesting to see what happens. The game in its entirety this time. Of course, my mistake before. My apologies. By the looks of things, 3 people looking to be on Durham D's nuts, and only 1 for the Durham Defenders. A bit unfair, but who knows? Maybe we can just see some good gameplay and maybe a dramatic turnaround. Unless other people are waiting to join. Apologies whenever the stream stutters, there's just me tabbing out of the game to just check on a few things associated with the stream. But yeah, seems as if the game is starting, so we have the 3 people on Durand's nuts, Copper Sun, 5 stars, and Tom. Tamai is awesome, of course. And we have Adita the Gamer, Pite Losi, Froggington, and Willing Wisp on Durham Defenders. So a 4v3 at the moment. This should be quite an interesting game. Durham Defenders immediately going for the Endstone defense on their bed. Quite smart. Because at this point people aren't able to get good enough pickaxes. Durham D's Notes just settling for the dirt and rushing the center to try and get a few early gold ingots to try and maybe put an early stoppage to Durham Defenders. But of course, they've made their own way to the center and are picking up a few things. Froggington running around trying to loot the entire central map, but of course, Tom running around the opposite end. I don't think they know that the other is at either end, so bit of ring around the rosies at the moment. Durham D's Nuts now getting a full endstone defense around their bed. Quite good, quite strategic. Of course, Durham Defenders just expanding their dirt hut. A relatively bold strategy in comparison, but 5 stars looking to try and maybe stage an attack on Durham Defenders. Of course, he is outnumbered and on a very thin bridge. Any type of knock could make him fall off. Oh! We have Adita getting the kill, but falling off in the process, that damaging both teams. Hopefully 5 stars did not have any loot on him, because I believe that would have gone to Adita as he had died. Still, we have Durham D's Nuts taking control over the center, getting all of the gold ingots nearby. I think both teams sort of ignoring all of the iron spawn, excuse me, all of the iron that has been spawning over the past few minutes. Who knows? That could affect either team later on, but the Dirt Hut defense looking quite large, but not necessarily very strong, whereas the Endstone defense on the opposite team now is fully surrounded in dirt. Both teams still playing quite passively. It appears as if Durand's Nuts trying to move over and have a look if there are any bronze spawning on the other items, which of course there is not. However, they could also be trying to go for the iron spawner. Oh, it seems as if there's a much larger attack going on by 5 stars currently. Froggington jumping over his wall and getting the kill. So, good defense here from Durham defenders, but of course Durand's Nuts are just going to get richer and richer, and are going to be able to just wage slightly stronger attacks every time. Of course, there are villagers in the center island, aka the dealers, who are able to trade all of these resources for items, so could be quite risky to try and do that in the center, depending on what is happening at that time, but Durand's Nuts mainly leaving their base undefended for the most part, because it's quite an aggressive play on Durham defenders, but by the looks of things, it seems as if the tables have turned and there's been quite an attack. Oh, one of the Durham defenders has fallen off. Oh, and a good fight there where Tom came out the victor. So, again, a very even game at the moment. It seems as if neither team is actually making sort of a dent on the other, but this game is mainly just chipping away and seeing what happens. We have Copper Sum in the middle now, trying to pick up some of the gold that has spawned. Now, I am not on either team. However, I think I can just quickly nip over to Survival and show some of the things that are in the shops. Hopefully. Oh, I guess for me, because I am not actually part of the game, the villagers just work as normal villagers, not as the traders. So I don't specifically know the items that are in the shop. However, I know that there are quite a few power-ups, like in Hypixel, like an Iron Golem or a Fireball, and stuff like that, which, of course, are quite important if a large-scale attack is thrown on either team. However, we have 5 stars sort of scouring the areas, trying to hold his position in the center island, probably trying to see what the other team is doing. Copper Sum joining 5 stars now. Oh! Tom putting TNT down on Durham defenders, leaves their bed exposed, and Tom is able to grab it. Okay, so now Durham defenders are in quite a shaky position. Because if memory serves true, Durand's Nuts still has their bed, and it makes it very difficult for Durham defenders to climb back at this point. Oh wait, no! Durand's Nuts have also lost their bed through some sneaky play here. Oh, quite an even game. Oh, we have some archery now going on at this point. Of course, some full-on warfare by 5 stars. He's been running around this entire game and just trying to get whatever picks he can, and he's able to get a pick. But Pite Losi for the Durham defenders appearing to get the victory. Wow, quite an intense ending there, but, you know, 5 stars trying his best. It was a good game. It was quite a good game. This, of course, being a more original type of Bed Wars style rather than sort of ripping off the entire structure from Hypixel. It's a lot simpler, allows for a lot more streamlined games, and the potential to have a lot more teams. However, for these games, there will just be two teams against each other. By the looks of things, maybe two teams of three or four, depending on the amount of players in the game. Now, I do not know if another game has started or if all the players are just sort of running around the center island, just waiting for the game to start. But I believe as if we are in a short intermission between games. Yep, all players are in the center island now, so it seems as if a game is about to start. Should be again even teams. It'll be interesting to see if any team decides to change their tactics. I believe during these notes rushed the center and tried to get all of the gold that they possibly could while the game started, rather than protecting their bed. And Durham defenders spending a bit extra time making sure that their bed is quite securely protected. But game is now underway. During these notes, of course, just covering their bed quickly in dirt and then rushing over to the center. Durham defenders are doing roughly the same, but sort of being a bit more lax with the bed protection, going over to the iron as well, trying to get both sets of resources. Durham these nuts, however, have already reached the center and are starting to run across to try and get all the gold that they possibly can. They have now reached the Iron Island as well. Durham defenders running in the opposite direction of Durham these nuts, making sure that they're able to pick up their own gold, but it'll be interesting to see if Tom decides to just hoard all the resources, maybe buy a few things, and try and rush the Durham Defender Island. Same tactic as before. Endstone surrounding the bed and the endstone being surrounded by dirt. Seem to have allowed a very sneaky bed destruction last game. Let's see if the same will happen this game. Durham D's nuts, again, as before, being quite lax in protecting their bed, but if they don't see any threat towards them, they don't need to do that, of course. Durham defenders going over to both iron spawners now. Quite a big pool that is generated at this point, because it's been a few minutes into the game. It'll be interesting to see what Durham D's nuts do. If they notice that there aren't many players towards the central island, they might try to rush their base, but it seems as if they're playing quite defensively themselves to try to keep a hold of the island that they have. And I believe that at some point soon they might try and migrate over to the second iron generator. Froggington running across the central island, picking up some extra resources. With gold, of course, you can buy just some stronger gear, but mainly you can buy bows and arrows, which is quite important. I believe that the ammo is no longer unlimited, so except for if you do have the infinity bow. Adita seeming to try and make a play over on Durham D's nuts. Jeepers trying to play quite aggressively in the defense there. They seem to be trying to now maybe move over towards the second iron generator, try and get some more resources. Durham defenders, of course, done this a short while ago, so they must have the iron advantage at the moment, but it appears as if Durham D's nuts has the gold advantage. Five Stars and Tom seem to be trying to push out to the center. They have a bit of gear, trying to acquire even more gold to try and strengthen their lead, but Durham defenders playing quite passively, at the moment, just sort of getting the iron spawning from both generators quite regularly, and just making sure that they have all eyes on the central island. I mean, Tom and 5 stars going out to try and push over Durham defenders. It seems as if they haven't really realised, apart from Pylosi and Willing Wisp. Froggington just in the shop. Oh, it appears as if he has bought a bow and arrow, but the TNT on the center will leave the beds exposed. Hopefully leaving to some quick cleanup by Durham these nuts. Oh, it seems as if all attackers died in that attempt just then. Durham these nuts, of course, still with their bed. They have the advantage right now. They can play very defensively. They can hold the center, try and get even more gold to strengthen their lead. If anything, Durham defenders have to try and push out and try and get whatever picks they can and see if they can destroy the bed of the opposite team. Looks as if we have some gold swords, maybe some bows as well, so it means that we'll be getting into some more PvP later on when there ends up being a huge team fight towards the center. Froggington seemingly eliminated from that push, so that may leave it as 4 versus 3 with the bed gone for Durham defenders. Durham these notes now playing very passively like they have to. Just getting whatever iron they can, whatever gold they can in the center. But 5 stars seeming to try and push out and stop Adita from being able to snipe the bed. Adita runs away, presumably quite low at this point, and gets killed by Tom. A valiant effort, but unfortunately was surrounded by 5 stars and Tom and just got picked apart. The remaining players, Pylosi, and if I remember correctly, oh wait, no, it appears as if Pylosi is the only player left for Durham defenders. I do not know what happened to Willing Wisp. Maybe died in another bit of combat that I did not see, or maybe just fell off or something, as can easily happen in these maps. Tom seemingly just going to rush in with Jeepers and just get the quick kill to end the game. Quite unfortunate for Durham defenders, but it's what happens when there's TNT that can be bought to destroy the bed. Just one quick push, and that's all it takes. Another win for Durham these nuts. Just a quick reminder, guys, this is a charity stream for Safe in Our World, charity to help spread awareness for mental health in the video game industry. Of course, also reaching to spread awareness for people who have been unaffected or know people who have been affected by mental health issues in the video game industry. You can do !donate in the Twitch chat and get more information there. It seems as if we're going to go into another game. I'm not too sure what will be happening with Bingo at this point. Obviously, I am broadcasting this from a remote location. All of these players are playing sort of together, like a LAN style, I believe. So they'll know more than I do, but it appears as if there were quite a few issues with Bingo, which we thought had been ironed out before the stream, but you know, it appears as if they've come up again, and rather than wasting time, we're just going to get into the action with bed walls. Hopefully that can be fixed, though, because it would be fun to see some Minecraft Bingo being played. And it seems as if the games are underway again. This time I'll keep an eye closer on Durham Defenders in the beginning. Willing Wisp reaching out towards the Iron Gen to their right, and the other players seemingly just picking up whatever bronze they can at the moment. Durham D's Nuts protecting their bed with dirt and have reached over to all sides, with Tom already taking hold of the center and picking up the early gold. It appears as if Durham Defenders are wanting to play even safer, maybe try and get whatever bronze they can for as many blocks as possible to protect their bed from the oncoming TNT. But Jeepers and Tom running around collecting whatever gold they can in the center. Durham D's Nuts, of course, with a very strong early game start. But Durham Defenders now reaching out to the center. Adita has grabbed some armor, should be able to win the 1v1 against Jeepers, but goes to Pylosi for just some extra help for the quick kill. You can never be too safe in these games. Overconfidence is what ends up killing you at the end of the day. By making one small misplay or being too overconfident and rushing in rather than assessing the situation can lead to either your death or the bed being destroyed, and one person can change the course of the entire game. Durham Defenders, again, using just dirt to try and protect their base, seemingly to try and just build as many blocks as possible rather than security. Jeepers seemingly just trying to do some gold runs in the center. Could also just be playing closer to Durham Defenders to try and keep them off from the base. Durham D's Nuts now moving to protect their bed with Endstone. That will be tough for Durham Defenders if they do not have a pickaxe. However, if they have some TNT, they should be able to just push in by knocking all the players away, or even killing them before that is destroyed. This could be quite a problem here. This empty gap on the side could mean that if Durham D's Nuts come and swoop in, they could just try and dig under and get a quick destruction of the bed. But it seems if Durham D's Nuts are trying to do a bit more, add a bit more verticality to their plays. By building this upper bridge, it means that they're able to try and attack any potential bridges from both sides, above and below. Saturation appearing to be applied just because of hunger issues in survival. Durham Defenders still having their beds at the moment, but it seems as if Durham D's Nuts are going to go over with some TNT and some arrows. They're going to try and get a bed destruction. Jeepers, of course, trying to get a few shots in with the bow. And Arrow, Adita and Pylosi being quite unfazed by the arrows. 5 stars running in. Building a quick little tower. Jeepers are seemingly attacking from the side. 5 stars rushes in with the TNT. Bed is now exposed, and 5 stars is able to take it. Meaning that Durham Defenders now can no longer respawn if they get killed. And with 3 versus 4, with the strong gear that they have picked up from getting all the gold in the center, it seems as if Durham Defenders are going to fall, and Durham D's Nuts are going to get another win. It really goes to show the strong effect of TNT in this game. Should just be one more Bed Wars game now before we move on to Minecraft Bingo. If there are still any issues with the bingo, then they're going to be doing they're going to be moving on to the dropper on LAN, but maybe switching over to just some Hypixel minigames by joining all and working as a party, which would also allow me to play, which would be quite fun. Of course, also very difficult commentating and playing at the same time. Be quite tough. Especially without a spectator view going over and looking at what all parties are doing. Of course, by playing Hypixel, I should be able to join into a call with the other players as well, so we can hear a lot more input. But now the game has started again. Durham defenders quickly going over to reach out to the Iron Gen. Durham D's nuts, of course, building out to the center strategy that seems to have worked every single time for them at the moment. Of course, all these games are all fun and games, nothing too serious. It's just a little bit of fun, chill Minecraft times for the weekend in this nice little charity stream for the Safe in Our World charity. Five stars and Jeepers seemingly going to just do a quick attack on the unprotected base. Sandstone might not clear at this point. Terrible pun with it being cut sandstone, but seems as if they have pushed away from that attack. That's fine, they're able to just collect whatever gold has spawned in the center, while Durham D's nuts can also collect any iron that has spawned over the course of this game. Across all of the games, Durham D's nuts have seemingly tried to play the more aggressive approach, less defense on their bed. Try and get some TNT, and then do a big push over to Durham defenders. Tom doing some crazy looking building there, trying to get the push on a detour, but Tom falling just short of being able to do a good bit of damage with that TNT. Quite dangerous. High risk, high reward. Jeepers seemingly out of blocks, only with a knockback one stick. Not too much to try and make a push with, so he's going to collect some more gold and try again. Durham D's nuts now encasing their bed in endstone, adding a bit more defense than the dirt sandstone combo. However, it's just an argument of quality versus quantity. Having such a large structure would mean that TNT would be a bit more ineffective, with one block not being able to do as much damage. However, two blocks would still be able to fully expose the bed at this point. 5 stars seemingly going to push over, make a play, while they are seemingly unaware, except for Pytlosi, but Willing Wisp just sort of building and being not focusing on the TNT push just then. Bed now fully exposed, and 5 stars takes it. Of course, being in armor and with a sword, he should be able to win this 2v1 here. Willing Wisp trying his best, but unfortunately gets killed by 5 stars. At this point now, I believe that there is only one Durham Defenders player left in the game. And now the interesting part is, where are they? Because I do not know either. Now, the interesting way of playing would be just to stay inside the spawn area and being unaffected by PvP. However, I think everyone could agree that that is a very lame way of playing the game at this point. And also, TNT would still probably push them off. Oh, during these nuts actually losing their bed. I do not when, but it seems as if Copper's son, after his bed getting destroyed, made a good push. Two people being taken out at the same time just then. So the game's now been cut quite strongly now to just 5 stars a Detire in Copper's son. But 5 stars, I believe being a part of the During These Nuts team, gets another win. Remember guys, this is a charity stream for Safe in Our World, a charity that's helping bring awareness to mental health in the video games industry. If you want to know more, please do !donate in the Twitch chat to find out more details. We should be moving on now to bingo at this point. Seems as if no other players are playing. Oh! Definitely seems as if bingo has been tried to start up now if all players have been kicked. It's quite intense to run on the server because it is generating a brand new world every time a game is started. And even if it is only a 2000 by 2000 square inside of that world, it is still generating the entire world and takes a short while. So apologies for any delays that will come up. However, while we wait, it means that I now have more time to try and do this parkour properly. Can't believe I missed that jump, to be honest with you. But we try again. Perseverance is the main key of doing parkour. Oh, it appears as if I've just been continuously falling. Which is not good. Oh, there we are. Oh, server closed. Seems as if bingo is being put to work yet again. But yeah, if Minecraft Bingo is the game that's being played, the goal is to achieve a line out of 25. So vertical, horizontal, or diagonal lines are allowed. We have a range of difficulties for these tasks, ranging from quite easy to breed a sheep, for example, or punch a villager, to a bit more difficulty, like craft an iron anvil. Takes a bit of time, you've got to do all the mining and whatnot, and also smelting the iron. Craft an enchantment table, being even tougher, you got to be even luckier to try and find diamonds. And even then, it's not a guarantee that you're able to find both the sugarcane and a cow to get the book. So those are the more like intermediate difficulty tasks, and then we have some quite hard to impossible tasks, such as acquiring some nether items. So if people are able to do that early, that could be both very good or very bad. And even tougher challenges being like kill the Ender Dragon, which is not going to be possible, I do not think. And specifically an impossible task of, well, an impossible task that just cannot be done. But there should also be the possibility of the manhunt task, which is basically all players have to try and seek out to kill a specific player. We will see what happens there. One of the problems with the Bingus generator is that because it's a new world each time and because of how the server is structured, all players get teleported into what I believe is the same spot as last time now. Unfortunately, we spawned in a mountain biome here, so the general spawn point is inside of the mountain, which of course suffocates all the players. But what I will do is I will TP myself to the Minecraft rep, who is also still in as much of a problem as the rest of us. Game starting very shortly, but all players are given a few items as they enter, namely an oak log, a boat, a bucket, and a few pieces of bread, as well as a map containing all of the tasks that they have to do. Now, what I will also do is I will go into survival just to show what tasks are given. So the tasks that we have in this game are to breed a chicken, which is quite simple, to kill a squid, to tame a cat, a bit harder, to build an iron golem, of course, having to acquire all the iron for that, but also damage an iron golem down here, which is quite easy if you find a village. Get a grindstone quite similarly. You could get quite lucky in a village which contains those. Sweet berries could be quite easy considering we are in a taiga biome here. But yeah, it seems as if we have quite a few difficult tests, quite a few easy tests at the same time. It will be interesting to see what players try to do. Oh, the tire already doing the damage and iron golem task. Now this means that they must have found a village at this point. They have. If a grindstone has spawned in this village, which I do not believe is the case, this would do 2 tasks at once. Be quite helpful for an early game start. But yeah, this is quite a harsher biome to spawn in. However, with the sweet berries task, could help quite considerably. Frozen lakes, allowing for some quick travel by boat if players want to try and scour around the area. PvP will be enabled in a few minutes, so it gives players some time to gather a few resources, mainly for the manhunt task, but it doesn't appear to be in this game. Snowblock task, quite easy considering how much there is, but you know, again, there are quite a few easy tasks, there are quite a few difficult tasks. Going back into survival, we'll be able to have another look at them. So players seemingly might be trying to go for this middle block here. Build an iron golem, of course, fitting 2 tasks, which would be quite convenient for either the 2nd horizontal row or the 4th vertical row. However, killing an enderman would be quite difficult at this point. If they want to go fast, they'll have to try and do it on the first night, and that could be quite tough for some of these players. The true Squid Game, exactly. The squid's the easiest task in my opinion because we see this black bed one here as well. Now typically if they're aligned, you would just be able to kill a bunch of squids, get all the black dye, kill a few sheep, and that's basically 2 tasks in one, which is quite convenient. But we have 2 build and iron golem tasks, which is literally 2 tasks at once. Who's Tom? Hello. I'll be going back to my role as spectator. Apologies. But he has found an iron golem and has been quite zealous with that, to be honest. But then again, the task is just to damage an iron golem. It never said to kill one, which is quite important to note. Have a look at what some other players are doing. Let's have a look at Copper Sum. He's building a few things inside. He's got some iron going. He must have found some, maybe trying to go for the iron golem tasks, which would be quite good to try and do. 2 tasks at once. Having a quick look. What I will do is have a look more specifically at what he has. So he has no tasks done at the moment. He's mainly just been going mining, but we have to kill Ton as one of the tasks. Now, oh wait, build an iron golem actually going for 3 of these tasks. My apologies. This middle one could actually be the easiest one to do. However, to build both an iron chestplate and an iron golem would require, I believe, 44 iron ingots, so that could be the play to do. 44 iron ingots for 3 tasks. Be quite nice. Taming a cat, however, might be a bit difficult to try and get fish in this frozen biome. Not only that, if players wanted to, they could just kill all of the cats that were in the village, which, very sad, but it would work as a tactical strategy. Try and deny other players as many tasks as they can. Now have a look at another player. Let's have a look at what Jeepers is up to. Jeepers finding some exposed emerald in the wall. That's quite nice. However, not very helpful for the manhunt or for any of the other tasks. So he's just going to try build down, maybe try and get some iron. Now have a look at what Froggington has been up to. He is just mining a tree at the side over here. He has done, I can't remember what this task is, but it could seemingly try and be to go for the second horizontal row. But yeah, no, this frozen river allows for some very quick travel if players decide to use their boats. Be quite interesting to see what is happening. We'll now have a look at what Pylosi has been up to. Mining into the mountains, of which there are plenty in this gen, means the players are just able to get whatever stone or iron they may need to grab, specifically if they're going for the 3rd vertical row, being 44 iron ingots required for 3 tasks, which would definitely be, in my opinion, the best route to do. Have a look at what 5 stars is up to. Seemingly trying to mine through. He doesn't know that there is quite a large cave system, but it's surrounded by an underwater one here. Maybe if he sees this, he might decide to hold off on that for now. Try and go back to Copper Sum. Oh, Pylosi doing the snowblock task. Copper Sum. Of course, making even more iron than before. Must be trying to do those 3 tasks. Of course, Copper Sum doing the suit up task. Get an iron chest plate. Seems as if he is definitely going for the iron tasks. Of course, getting into a good spot so I don't just get murdered. Uh, what we can see, this middle row, it's quite scary if you're Ton. But for the other players, the compass points to his exact location. The only downside is you have to be in the menu to see it. Of course, the compass turns quite drastically, meaning that he must be quite close nearby. Of course, if Copper knew this, he would try and go for the kill. He seemingly has all the equipment he would need, but one of the key details is the tame a cat task. If the starting village has been completely looted and all of the cats have been killed, that task will be impossible for all players, which would be quite interesting to see if anyone actually does all of that. Now I'm going to have a look at what Willing Wisp has been up to. Going mining. Of course, with the new Caves and Cliffs update, we have so many nicer caves to go through. Great to explore, but I do not know what that message is. But let's go and see what Jeepers has been up to. Been a short while since we've had a look at him. Also just mining currently. Must have used the lava bucket to try and power his furnace for a long time. Now have a look at what Froggington has been up to. Honestly, Bingo is a very slow burner game depending on the tasks. Ooh, Froggington being in the village, we can have a quick look and see if the cats have been killed. Aditya even, trying to go around and tame this cat right here. Trying to play very slowly so as to not disturb the cat. Oh, an Enderman here as well for the Ender Pearl task. If Aditya tried to do that task as well and has spotted the Enderman and tries to go for the quick kill. Of course, Enderman's doing a lot of damage, and with a stone axe and no armor, this could be quite tough. And it seems as if the server lag is also not helping. But Aditya gets the kill, but no Ender Pearl. That's quite unfortunate. I believe it is a 50% chance or a 25% chance for one to drop. Either way, not very lucky for Aditya. However, the cat is still within reach and would lead to quite a good push at this point. Froggington running over close by to Aditya. What has Ton been doing? Because he knows that he has a bounty over his head. He is underground. He's grabbed himself a shield. He's ready for most people who are going to try to kill him. Of course, compasses only really point to the general direction of where a player is and not vertically. So they may not know necessarily where Ton is. Even if they try to seek him out, he's quite deep underground here as well. So he might be perfectly safe. The main downside to that, of course, is that he's not going to be able to do as many tasks himself. But he's still going to gather some iron. He'll be able to do the Iron Golem task and the Iron Chestplate task. Of course, now, this could be true. I do not necessarily know if it is. But if Ton killed himself with a bow and arrow, I think that may count for him completing the task himself. Now that would be quite interesting. Jeepers completing the Emerald task. Let's have a look now at the GUI of all players. 5 stars, still only having done one task, but might be in a better position overall without even really showing. He's got himself some diamonds. Now, of course, if the game goes on for longer, that could lead to an advantage in the long run. However, it could be quite risky to try and take some time away to try and get all of this stuff. Jeepers seemingly having a bit of a tough time. As happens... Oh, of course, with it being nighttime now, all of the mob tasks are now possible to do. We'll have a look at some more tasks of players. D-Tire having done multiple tasks. Of course, still nothing too substantial towards a line at the moment. Copper Sum having doing a few others. Hasn't gotten a snow block himself yet, but having the iron chestplate and still trying to get iron himself, he could be trying to go for this middle row here. 5 stars now completing his second task. Of course, Ton, the main one that people are going to look out for, the person who has the bounty on his head for a task. He's going to be playing quite safe. Try and make sure that he is the least exposed he possibly can be. Also, very sorry for just the frame drop that happened there. Ton now dying, so if he gets sent back to the spawn, he could be quite close by to other players, which would be quite dangerous for him. D-Tire now in the mines after going around the village quite nearby, very far down at this point, but then again, these are quite large caves. It's quite easy to travel vertically. D-Tire seemingly not able to try and tame that cat from earlier, which is a shame, but who knows, other players could try and go for the same task if that cat is still alive. And of course, there's still plenty of cats in the village, so if anyone decides to try and go for the tame a cat task, they will be very easily able to get some fish from this massive river nearby and see and try and do what they can. Seemingly, nothing too much is happening at the moment. Pylosi, quite a bit far away from the spawn at this point. It's in a completely separate biome, maybe trying to separate themselves as much as possible. Spots a ruined portal here. This could contain quite a few goods. Loot not generated yet, of course, since this chest has not been opened, but it will be quite interesting to see what has been in here. A flint and steel and a few pieces of obsidian. Quite a worthless ruined portal chest. Quite unfortunate. If there was a looting sword in there, it could have been easier to try and get the ender pearl task, for instance. Luck being a massive factor in Minecraft Bingo. Willing Wisp still in the mountains, doing what he has done before. He's been moving around, he's been using the boat to try and get across very quickly, as you can see, much faster than what I can fly as a spectator. He's gone so far that I can't actually see him. Very quick travel between places. Of course, over the time of the game, people will have more awareness over where stuff is and will be able to go through. Copper's son getting the damage and iron golem task. He's at the starting village going for the iron golem that Ton valiantly tried to fight earlier but ended up losing to. Oh, the iron golem leading himself to his own death, with Copper Son easily able to just attack the feet of the iron golem and gets the kill. Of course, there are many other tasks to do rather than just the third vertical row, as much as I may like it. Having a look at Jeepers, for instance, we can see that this breed a chicken row does still have some tasks. They're relatively easy to do. Of course, building an iron golem going across 3 separate tasks in of itself. But yeah, as we can see, quite difficult tasks, like a Vindicator, for instance, which may not even be possible in the 2000 by 2000 block sport. Another seemingly impossible task, of course, to get the cocoa beans and tame a parrot. If there is no jungle nearby, these will be almost completely unobtainable. And of course, an elytra. So this second vertical row is completely off limits for being completed. However, these horizontal rows are quite possible. 5 stars. Picking up a few more tasks recently. Seemingly trying to go for this second horizontal row here. Now, the main person who I think is ahead at the moment is Copper Sum, having done quite a few tasks, namely the second vertical row, which is not really possible to fully complete. However, a green stained glass pane haunting for the 4th task in that 4th horizontal row. Horizontal line, even. Gonna try and have a look at Froggington. It has been a short while since we've looked at him. He has been running over, seemingly has found the village again, might be trying to look for an iron golem if possible. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Copper Sun, some even, getting the taming a cat quest. He is well on his way for picking up the win at this point. Now, he must be trying to look for Ton at this point. Damaging an iron golem task by Willing Wisp. Quite scary at this point how many tasks people are able to get done. A detire in the ravine underneath the village, just picking up a few resources. Copper Sun picking up the lantern task, and Jeepers as well. They must be trying to do the same type of things. Having a look at Jeepers, he's well on his way on quite a few tasks. We'll have a look at what he's been up to since we last had a look at him. He's of course going over the rivers in the same way as everyone else, leaving his boat there, but he spotted this igloo, so he will be trying to have a look at what loot is inside. Of course, an igloo containing a cactus for free, allowing for the green stained glass pane to actually be completed, and the chisel stone bricks as well. This is quite a big find actually for Jeepers. Able to get quite a few tasks done if he plays his cards right. Of course, still the thing that haunts him is being able to kill Ton, but also an iron golem, the sweet berries, and an ender pearl. He did not pick up the cactus. That could have been a misplay depending on the world gen. Maybe impossible to do without that igloo. Very dangerous. But Froggington also picking up the taming a cat task. He must be back in the village picking up a few extra things that people have left. And of course, running around in the starter village. Now, an interesting point is the fact that these tasks have been able to be done since the start, essentially. All of the lanterns could have been picked up. The cat could have been tamed early had people tried to rush for that. However, seemingly not the case. Very interesting now. We'll have a look at what Ton has been up to. Must probably still be quite separated from the rest of the group. Oh no! Copper Sum has actually found him and is trying to get the kill. He should be able to here, depending on what happens. Ton has not got far to run. excuse me, is in full iron armor, but Copper Sum is able to get the kill on him. This is massive. Absolutely massive. If Copper Sum has the iron that he needs, he should be able to just win the game at this point. Only one task to do now, which is build an iron golem. He needs quite a bit more iron. We'll have a look at what his inventory holds. He only has 7 ingots, meaning that he'll have to go back mining, but in the meantime, he should be quite clear to do that. Oh, but never mind, there is iron in these furnaces, meaning that Copper Sum is actually in a better spot than we may have thought. Having quite a few more iron ingots now, which he is using for armor. This could be a misplay, considering he is only one task away from completing it. However, the main factor for building an iron golem is not necessarily the iron itself, but the pumpkin, of which there are plenty nearby. If he notices these pumpkins, he might decide to try and go for the iron golem task and pick up the win. Froggington being chased by an angry polar bear, and Copper Sum seemingly trying to kill him as well. Excuse me, sorry. Froggington leaving Copper on a wild goose chase, but gets in a boat with a baby polar bear, and Copper diverts his attention to the poor baby polar bear with the mother trying to chase after him. Copper now killing all of the cats nearby. Oh, well, maybe not. It would be effective to stop other players from being able to pick up that task. However, he seemingly has missed the pumpkins from behind, but there are pumpkins ahead if he notices. Might be the biggest factor. And he misses them. Now, this is interesting. Does he already have a pumpkin on him? He does not. He has not realized how powerful that task actually is. Of course, we must look at the other players. We'll have another look at Pytlosi. It has been quite a long time since we have looked at them. They've been just gathering some iron in the mines, nothing too special, but then again, iron is crucial to quite a few of these tasks, so it is quite important. We'll have a look at what... Oh god, excuse me. When I can type, we will have a look at what Pytlosi has. Quite a lot of raw iron, which is quite important. 5 stars doing the hired help task, that being to summon an iron golem to help defend a village. It seems as if that task may be in fact bugged. It appears as if that is the case. That's quite unfortunate. If he built an iron golem and that task has not been completed, meaning that Copper Sum is not actually as far ahead as previously thought. Meaning that the round is actually a lot closer. He could just be trying to go for this 4th horizontal row, but he needs green dye from a cactus, which may not be possible in this world gen other than the igloo previously, and a black bed, which is quite simple, just killing a few squids and killing a few sheep. Nothing too dramatic, but we'll have another look at what Copper Sum has been up to. Runs by the igloo, which still has the cactus inside of it. Could be a massive misplay, but he has a cat with him by his side and he's eating the fish, which I'm assuming he would have used to tame the cat in the first place. seemingly a new village to loot. Oh, he has found a blacksmith and has been able to get the grindstone task. This is quite important. At this point, any little helps, and he is quite close to doing a few lines. Of course, this line being impossible. Apologies, I'm trying to figure out the possible reasons for the frame drops in the stream. Not too sure what could be happening with all of that. I will have a look and try and fix that if possible. Froggington getting the Ender Pearl task, that could be quite important actually. As the Ender Pearl allows for this row here to be done. Of course, if the building an Iron Golem task is bugged, then that row is not actually possible to be completed, which is a big shame. 5 stars, fortunately, being blown up by a creeper, but it is now turning into night again, and so people will probably be able to do more tests, such as the Ender Pearl one. We'll be having another look at some of the players. We will now have quick view on what Ton has been getting up to since he got killed by Copper. So I'm gone back to mining. Very interestingly, if players did want to, they could sleep through the night, but they would all have to sleep together. Considering some of these tasks do involve the night, at least somewhat, that will not be what happens in the end. Ton having quite a bit of raw iron, but mainly will probably just be used to suit himself up, get himself a shield, so people will stop trying to kill him. But unfortunately, a task is a task. And if it must be done, it must be done. Having a look at Will-O-Wisp, he has actually gotten the green stained glass pane, sorry, excuse me, task completed, meaning that he could be trying to look for Ton at the moment, and maybe trying to get himself Black Bed as well. Interestingly, one of the tests that we haven't seen worked with at all is the first row, but that is because of this cocoa beans task. As weird as Minecraft's world gen could be, there is still the possibility that a jungle has actually spawned inside this 2000 by 2000 block radius. Inside this 2000 by 2000 block square. A Detire picking up the chiseled stone bricks could maybe have found the igloo from before. Oh no! Instead, it is a... I don't actually know what these are called. It's one of those small sunken ocean monuments, just not a proper one. 5 stars also completing the chiseled stone brick task now, as maybe has found the igloo from earlier. No, instead he has gone the old-fashioned way. He has crafted himself a stone cutter, or maybe found one from a village, and made one himself. Quite interesting. 5 stars, not killing the creeper there, but if he has already completed the task, it is not important at all. And of course, he has already done it. Willing Wisp dying to an Enderman there must have been trying to pick up that task. We'll have a quick look at what he's been getting up to. Oh, of course, unfortunately, when you die, you get transported back to over here, meaning that there's quite a big problem. We'll have a look at what Froggington has been up to. Ow. You saw nothing, 5 stars. Seemingly looking around in confusion as to the sound that he just heard, which was just me breaking my own legs. But we'll have a look at what Froggington has been up to. He's gotten himself quite a few random things here. He must have killed a husk to get this arrow of slowness. Now, again, one of the things that Ton could possibly do is kill himself with a bow and arrow to complete that task. But, who knows? Ton being shot by a skeleton, as I was just talking about the potential for him to shoot himself. However, having a look at what Ton has been getting up to, he has no tasks completed. He has been target number 1 since the game has started, with a bounty on his head, so he's probably just been trying to collect whatever resources he can, but he's been getting picked off either by mobs or by the other players. Willing Wisp must be trying to get himself an Ender Portal. An Ender Portal? A Nether Portal. Sorry, my mistake. Have a quick look at what he is getting up to at the moment. Ah! It's because he's mining with the iron, with the lava bucket. That's what all of those messages were from. I see. Now remember, of course, this is a charity live stream being for Safe in Our World mental health charity. The targets, awareness for mental health in the video game industry, which is quite a nice thing to see and a very nice cause. If you want any more details, you can do !narc donate in the Twitch chat, and there should be quite a bit of information there. Froggington doing a few more tasks, but we'll have a quick look at what Aditya has been getting up to. Has now found themselves a shipwreck. This is quite interesting. Quite a bit of iron, but nothing too spectacular. Another shipwreck nearby. This is quite an interesting spawn, to be honest. For a very small area, for about 10 players, they have been able to gather a lot of different types of resources. The main problem being the bugged build an iron golem task, but that is just unfortunate. Ton making himself some armor, but unfortunately dying at the same time to a zombie is quite unfortunate. Having a quick look through this area, there are a lot of villages nearby that they can go to quite close to each other, but no sweet berries. Very unfortunate. However, any of these villages that spawn inside this foresty part of the biome could have sweet berries inside of a chest, which is quite an important detail to think of. However, low barrier being reached at this limit here. We'll have another look at what Copper Sun has been getting up to. He has gotten himself quite a bit of wool, seemingly going to make himself a black bed if he has not already. Of which he has not. However, he could be saving that task for last. But by ditching all of this completely, it could be another pretty big misplay from the person with the task lead at the moment. By Losi picking up the kill a creeper task. And it's also moved, apparently, in the listing. It's interesting to think now of what tasks can and can't be done. If the Build an Iron Golem task is completely bugged, then This eliminates the third and fourth vertical row and the fifth horizontal row, which, to be fair, was already eliminated in the first place because you had to get another right ingot, which, no, people aren't really going to get. Which means that the fourth horizontal row is probably the most optimal one to try and go. Or, if for some reason the task decides to work, either the first horizontal row or the third vertical row. I don't think I've ever seen this many pumpkins in World Gen, to be honest. Quite convenient, but a shame if the task does not actually work. Be having a look at what Jeepers has been getting up to. He has just completed the Black Bed task, quite important. He has gotten himself a wolf as well. A little bit of extra protection in case anyone tries to kill him or any mobs try to kill him. Tasks wise, he is looking pretty strong at the moment. Nothing too spectacular though. This Vindicator task is not really going to happen, but he's well on his way for this fourth horizontal task. Five stars, picking up the painting task, getting himself closer for this first vertical row. However, if there are no cocoa beans inside this 2000 by 2000 block square, then there will be an impossible task. Who's winning? By the looks of things, Copper Sum is when. Oh, he's picked up the Sweet Berries task. Very sorry. I my name is Alistair. I'm a second-year physics student at the University of York. I'm a friend of the Minecraft rep, Alice in Muffinland, and I am just casting this remotely. Nothing too spectacular. Apologies, I've not really mentioned myself too much in this casting, but yes, Coppersum has gotten quite a lot of tasks, seemingly appears to be going for a full house rather than one singular line, but then again, with 3 Build an Iron Golem tasks, all of which appear to be bugged, it's a lot tougher than it seems. Pytlosi picking up a brewery stand. This could be quite interesting to see what they've been getting up to. They have found the igloo that was found previously. The cactus is now gone. It'll be interesting to see if Pytlosi has actually picked this up, and they have. Now this is important for the green stained glass pane task in the fourth horizontal row. Don't know what happens in this igloo. It seems like a big accident must have happened during the night, but we'll have a look at what tasks Pytlosi has been getting up to over the course of the game. Nothing too much, but the cactus allows for the stained glass pane task to be done, which is quite interesting. But the parrot task, seeds are very easy to grab. The parrots are not, especially if there is no jungle biome in this space. However, the diagonal line would be possible in this case, would lead to a pretty significant victory by Losi. 5 stars, picking himself up some obsidian. He could have found maybe a ruined nether portal, or yep, and he has right here. Not very good loot, however a golden axe would be useful just to pick up a few extra resources because it's not very durable. So just a quick bit of mining for wood, you'd be able to pick up a few things for yourself. But yeah, this World Gen, nothing too much. Some very interesting caves, like this one, but for the most part, a very snowy, very cold environment that the players have been spawned into. Be having another look at Froggington. It's been a short while since we've had a look at him. Previously, oh, he has found himself a pillager outpost. Now this is actually massive, to be honest, because one of the tasks is damage a vindicator. Now that would have been an impossible task before. However, I think with enough bad omen stacks, I do not know how many it is for a vindicator to spawn. But with enough time, you could just wait at this one pillager outpost, and pillager captains would continue to spawn. Haste and swiftness have now been applied to all players, which is quite interesting now. Pon achieving the damage an Iron Golem task, but he did build himself an Iron Golem as well, so yes, the task must be plugged if no players are actually able to pick it up, which is a shame because this third vertical row would have been a very interesting task to do. It must be a big shame for Ton, of course, being the one with a bounty on his head. He is main target number one for all players. But this pillager outpost is actually a massive find. Absolutely incredible. Pon also doing the taming a cat task, so it appears as if players are mainly just going for whatever tasks they can do rather than a specific line at this point, because the game's been going on for a while now, so it's probably going to go on for a good bit longer as well, if there hasn't been a victor already. Of course, we're getting close to 4 PM, where I believe the stream will be casted over to another game. I'm not too sure which one it is, but yeah, just want to quickly mention again that this is a charity live stream for Safe in Our World, a charity made to help spread awareness for mental health in the video game industry and help provide knowledge to people who have not been affected by mental health or people who know people who have been affected by mental health in the video game industry. Jeepers killing Ton, getting himself an extra task. Now, he's been doing a bit of work by himself over a good while, so he must have just met up with a few people. He's gotten himself a very strong-looking bingo board at the moment. But like most players, he's stuck at what to do now at this point. Then again, if a pillager outpost could be found, then perhaps the tiniest part of the jungle biome could also be found, and cocoa beans could be acquired. We'll have a look at what Jeepers has been getting up to, because it's been a good while since we've had a look at him, to be honest. He's over by this village, which, to be fair, is a bit far out from the spawn, but nothing too outrageous. Of course, all entities being affected by swiftness and haste, which is quite interesting to see, but of course it's very helpful for all players at this point of the game. From the sounds of things, Ton has appeared here as well. Maybe Ton and Jeepers just went over. Very quick exchange. Copper completing the black bed task. He's now finally managed to do it after about 20 minutes of being able to. Quite interesting. He is one task away from completing it. He just needs the green stained glass pane. Of course, that only matters if you are able to find a cactus, which there are very little of in this world gen. I do not believe that there are any deserts inside this 2000 by 2000 block square. However, there are still some igloos dotting around, and if people have not picked up the cactus that spawns in the igloo, that could be the way how this game is decided. And yes, Elytra and Pillager tasks, I know. The Pillager specifically being a Vindicator as well. So, you know, a few impossible tasks, or very, very difficult tasks, just spread in across the bingo board. Froggington seemingly having some issues, but we'll now have a look at Willing Wisp, because it has been a good while since we looked at him. He has not been getting up to too much, but he's in the nether at the moment. Of course, being a new dimension, I get put into survival mode. Is the map size limited now? I believe it's 2,000 blocks by 2,000 blocks, which is quite problematic because some of the tasks are like tame a parrot and get cocoa beans, so they would also be impossible if there's um, no jungle. To be honest, I do not know what Willing Wisp is doing here. He could just be having fun in the Nether. But then again, one of the tasks is to get an Ender Pearl, and if he finds himself uh the green forest, I cannot remember what the biome itself is called. Endermen normally spawn in that area, so he would be able to pick up that task. The maps are randomly generated for every game. That's why it's quite tasking on the server, innit? Because it's just generating a new world every time. Yeah, we had a few issues when the stream started because originally we were going to do bingo first, but there were quite a few problems, so it just got moved to Bed Wars for an hour. Excuse me. And this game has been going on for quite a long time now. Of course, as you can tell by the strain on my voice over time. We'll have a look at what 5 stars it's been getting up to. Of course, me traveling through dimensions puts me back in here. 1.4k, 1.4k, a jungle. And he is not wrong, there is a jungle here as well. Wow, this is big actually. If other players are able to find this and could pick up the cocoa beans and potentially a parrot here, that would allow the first horizontal row, the first vertical row, and I think the 5th horizontal row to be completed in its entirety. Of course, having a look at Minecraft Rep's GUI, she's not completed any tests, so we can see how any of these. Okay, not the 5th horizontal because it is get a netherite ingot, which to be fair could be what Willing Wisp is doing in the Nether. He could be trying to play the long game, assuming that this goes on for a very, very long time. Of course, he's found himself the Bastion. He's able to pick up quite a good bit of loot in there, but none of which should be that useful towards the bingo. Pylosi picking up the Emerald task quite late on at this point, but they've picked up quite a few tasks themselves, and they could be getting this diagonal line here if they get to this jungle and tame a parrot. Now the thing is, this is a bamboo forest. And I do not know if it's just because I am a spectator, but I cannot see any parrots. And also, not any cocoa beans either, which could be very unfortunate for all players if there do not turn out to be any cocoa beans. However, there are melons, so that's something. Nothing too much, but you know. Oh! Okay, so there are parrots in this jungle. This could be the way how the game is decided then. If one person is able to get the parrot task, I believe that they are able to complete the diagonal row from the top left to the bottom right. And that would end the game. Willing Wisp dying in the Nether, very unfortunate for him. In the meantime, we'll just have a quick look at this parrot. Oh, and Copper Sum getting the cocoa beans task inside of the jungle. Very good game. Very close. It would have been done a lot sooner if the Iron Golem tasks could have been done, which is a very big shame. But well played by all. That was tougher than it had to be. I can't lie. But it worked out in the end. And that was a very good game. And it works very well for timing as well. GG. Good game. quick reminder that this is a charity stream for Safe in Our World, a charity to help spread awareness for mental health in the video game industry. If you want any details, do exclamation mark donate in the stream chat, and there should be a link providing all the information that you'll need to know. But yeah, I think that should just about wrap up this portion of the charity stream, and we'll be moving on to a different game with a new caster and completely different people. I believe if I heard right from the Ultimate group, it would be Smash Melee after this, but do not quote me on that. I am a York student, I am not a Durham student, I'm just a friend of the Minecraft rep, so there's nothing too special there. But yeah, I believe we'll be handing it over very shortly.